Welcome to Cine Pro, where we bring your favorite movies back to life with quick recaps, hidden details, and everything you missed. Our movie begins with Pauline. We usually see her in a place resembling an operating room. There was another version of her sitting in front of her, bleeding from her mouth. Quickly, we learn that this is a dream as soon as Pauline wakes up, seemingly unbothered. By the way, Pauline suffers from a psychological disorder called borderline personality disorder, which is also referred to as emotionally unstable personality disorder. We will learn more about this condition as the movie progresses. On the side, Pauline tells herself she wants to become a surgeon because her sister Grace suffers from pulmonary fibrosis. So she wants to become a doctor to treat her sister and alleviate her pain. Her parents, Bob and Taylor. You'll notice that Taylor is a bit domineering and treats Pauline rather harshly, which is a reaction to Pauline's overall behavior. Meanwhile, Bob is very peaceful and always defends Pauline, trying to ensure she doesn't feel like a burden. He tries to fix what Taylor messes up. At school, we see Pauline very focused on her studies because she wants to become a surgeon. During a break, Pauline sits with two of her classmates, Natalie and Abigail. She overhears Natalie talking about their classmate Adam and how they are dating. Abigail mocks Adam, and just then, Adam arrives and greets his girlfriend. Pauline tells him, "By the way, your girlfriend's friend was mocking you just now." This puts Abigail in an awkward position, but she acts this way because she is mentally unwell. After school, Taylor picks Pauline up. On the way, Taylor tells Pauline to fasten her seatbelt. Pauline refuses, so Taylor stops the car and gets very angry, saying, "If you don't fasten your seatbelt, I won't move the car and you'll miss your therapy session." Under pressure, Pauline complies. Taylor tells her, "You think the pastor you take me to is a psychiatrist?" But her mother told her it's better than nothing. Where would we get the money for real psychiatrists? Their fees are very expensive. Indeed, Pauline arrives at the church and sits with the pastor, who asks her some questions. But Pauline mocks him and responds sarcastically, saying, "What does religion have to do with psychiatry? I don't understand." She doesn't believe he is a doctor, so she refuses to engage with him. The next day, Pauline is surprised to see Taylor at school in the principal's office. Pauline asks her, "What are you doing here?" Taylor replies, "I'm signing you up for the school's group dance party." Pauline gets very angry, tears up the paper, and storms out of the office. At dinner that night, Pauline brings up the topic with her mother, saying, "Don't make decisions about my life without consulting me. I'm not attending the party." As usual, Taylor disagrees, saying, "You have to attend because there will be a cultural seminar, and you need to be cultured before entering college." Later, we see Pauline in a dream where she interacts with a decapitated body and starts licking its blood. It's a dream, but it's evident she enjoys the gore in her dreams. At school, Pauline approaches Adam in front of his classmates and boldly asks him to become friends, leaving her phone number for him to respond. Naturally, this behavior leads Adam's friends to laugh at her and mock her. We then return to Pauline's dreams, where she walks over a pile of bodies scattered on the ground until she reaches a blood-filled bathtub. She gets in, enjoying herself as her entire body is submerged in blood. When she woke up, she went down to have breakfast with her. At that moment, she saw Pauline has piercing. She got very angry and told her to remove it immediately. This is not our morals. Paul removed it against her will. After that, Tyler sat with Bob alone and told him, "Am I harsh on Pauline? I do not want to be a copy of my mother and be harsh on her as she was harsh on me." Bob told her, "If you were harsh, I would have divorced you a long time ago. You do all this out of fear for her." Later, we see Pauline and Grace playing in the garden. Across the street, they notice their neighbor Jennifer jumping rope. Pauline says, "I love jumping rope. Can we play together sometime?" Jennifer responds harshly, "I would never play with someone as crazy as you." Grace gets upset on behalf of her sister, yells at Jennifer, and takes Pauline inside the house. At the end of the day, Pauline receives a call from Adam, who says he agrees to her offer. She tells him, "Okay, come pick me up from my house on Monday." She informs Taylor that Adam will come to work on a school project with her. However, it's clear Taylor believes there's a romantic relationship between Pauline and Adam. Before Pauline leaves the house, Taylor applies makeup on her to make her look attractive to Adam. When Adam arrives, he greets Taylor, takes Pauline. Isrania Taylor seems very pleased, thinking her daughter is now in a relationship, which might boost her confidence or something. However, Adam returns Pauline home shortly after, visibly uncomfortable and unwilling to see her again. By the end of the day, Grace is crying because she received news that her friend from the hospital passed away due to pulmonary failure. Taylor tells Pauline to console Grace because her friend has died. Pauline responds, "So we're just going to leave Grace sick until she dies too?" Taylor replies, "Grace's condition is stable, so stop thinking negatively, please." Back at school, Pauline is with Natalie, Abigail, and Adam. She slyly reveals to Natalie that Adam cheated on her with Pauline. Then she leaves. Later, Natalie and Abigail confront Pauline in the locker room, mocking her appearance and body, even calling her mentally unstable. This deeply affects Pauline's mental state. When she returns home, she stands in front of the mirror, examining her body and marking areas with lipstick where she thinks she needs cosmetic surgery. Grace walks in and asks, "What are you doing?" Pauline replies, "I'm marking the areas where I need cosmetic surgery, and I'll perform the surgery on myself." Grace tells her, "But you're beautiful and don't need any surgery." She tries to convince Pauline to love herself as she is, but Pauline remains unconvinced. The entire family gathers. At dinner, Taylor informed the girls that the headstone ceremony was approaching and they needed to prepare themselves. As usual, Pauline made it clear that she didn't want to attend the ceremony. However, Taylor insisted, saying, "Maybe you'll meet someone nice there." Later, Pauline went to sleep and dreamt that she was cutting out her own tongue, expressing how deeply Taylor's words had affected her, wishing she could silence herself. The next day at school, Pauline went to the bathroom and drank some medication. When she returned to class, she showed signs of illness. When she got home, Taylor checked her temperature and took care of her, but then said, "I saw the bottle of medicine in your bag. You took it to make yourself dizzy and nauseous so you wouldn't attend the ceremony, right? You're going to attend it whether you like it or not." And indeed, the ceremony took place, and Pauline attended. However, she caused significant problems with her classmates, leading to her mother, and her sister being thrown out of the event. The next day, a student took Pauline to school. After Taylor left, Pauline walked out of school and went to the public library, where she began reading books about medicine and lung surgery. After the school day ended, Pauline returned home, and Taylor confronted her, saying, "The school principal called and told me you didn't attend today. Where were you?" Pauline replied, "I was at the library." Taylor didn't let it go and slapped her. Later during dinner, Pauline appeared very upset. Out of nowhere, she threw the food at Taylor's face, left the dinner table, and went to her room. While there, she overheard Taylor yelling to Bob, "I can't stand this girl anymore. I don't want to see her in this house again. Get her out." Hearing this made Pauline extremely upset, and she cried deeply. The next day, when she was coming back from school, she found a dead pigeon thrown on the floor. She caught it with her in the bag, and when she got back home, she opened its chest as a kind of training. At that time, her hand was covered in blood, so she started licking the blood, and she was enjoying it very much. After that, Pauline and Taylor had another confrontation. Taylor expressed her frustration and told Pauline that her actions were out of anger and that she didn't want to treat her the way her own mother had treated her. After an emotional and heartfelt conversation, Taylor said, "Are you done? All right, goodbye," and walked away. One day, the family woke up to find disturbing messages written on the house walls. Pauline immediately suspected Natalie and Abigail. She rushed to the school in anger and first saw Adam, but then attacked Natalie, hitting her violently. The principal summoned Pauline to his office and told her he had no choice but to expel her due to her behavior. When Pauline returned home, Taylor was furious, saying, "You only had 1 month left to graduate. Why did you do this?" Pauline provoked her further with her attitude, showing no remorse. Days later, Taylor sat in the garden looking very sad. Bob approached her, asking what was wrong. She replied, "The doctor called about Grace's condition. It has worsened, and she needs a lung transplant." Pauline overheard this conversation from her room and became deeply affected. During dinner that night, Pauline apologized to her mother for her recent behavior. Bob was pleased with her apology, as was Taylor, and they thought things were improving. However, Grace suddenly experienced breathing difficulties, causing the family to panic. The next day, Taylor told Pauline she would be out until the evening and asked her to take care of Grace. After Taylor left, Pauline put sleeping pills in Bob's tea, causing him to fall unconscious. She then went outside and saw their neighbor Jennifer skipping rope. Pauline invited Jennifer over, saying, "I have plenty of ropes in the garden. Come take them. I don't use them." Despite not liking Pauline, Jennifer went along for her own benefit. However, Pauline drugged Jennifer with a cloth soaked in sedatives, causing her to lose consciousness. Pauline then went to Grace's room and drugged her as well, believing she was about to perform a heroic act. Pauline shaved her head completely, took both Jennifer and Grace to the garage, and attempted to perform a lung transplant on Jennifer to save Grace. When Taylor returned home, she found Bob unconscious and tied up with ropes. Shocked and panicked, She ran around the house searching for the girls. She eventually reached the garage and was horrified by the scene. Unfortunately, the operation had failed, and both girls had died. Pauline, however, was convinced the surgery was successful, saying, "I saved her, Grace." Look, Taylor couldn't move, overwhelmed by the tragedy. She hugged Pauline and screamed in despair. Pauline also let out a powerful scream as she realized her actions, understanding she had caused a catastrophe and taken 2 innocent lives because of her mental instability. And here the movie ends. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification button so you never miss an updates. See you in the next video.